Hi, I'm Lance Reddick. I'm one of the stars of Fringe, and you're listening to Sci-Fi Talk.
My best of conversation has Zach Bagans, Nick Groff, and Aaron Goodwin of Ghost Adventures. They just began a new season, and I spoke with the paranormal investigative team at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010. Hey, we're here with Zach Bagans and the crew from Ghost Adventures, Travel Channel. What's really been really cool about watching your show is some of the adventures you've been on. Some of my favorite, the one you just did, I think was this season, the Loma Linda Hospital. That was amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people like that Linda Vista Hospital, but I think, it had a lot of turmoil attached to it, a lot of undisclosed things about how it shut down. And I think when you start getting into a lot of questions that never had answers about how a place shut down and deaths and stuff like that, there's a lot of unfinished business there. There's a lot of unresolved energy, and I think that really makes for a good recipe for a haunting. And especially down in the basement when I found some human ash and I think I picked up a tooth, Aaron's hand sanitizer came in real handy.
What's really been interesting too, another place I really enjoyed was I think it was like a mental institution in Pennsylvania that was shut down.
Yeah, Pennhurst.
Yeah.
Pennhurst State School, yet again another place with a lot of controversy. You got a place where it's very unfortunate that some people are born with a disability that they don't ask for. And here they are sent to a place to try and get help, and instead of getting help, they were given harm. So to add to that negative energy, it was a real sad place. We went there with open arms, but at the same time, we had something happen that we were unable to debunk. I almost got stabbed in the heart by a huge coat rack that we thought fell, but then after we replayed the footage, we placed it about 10 feet from the place where we thought it was. And it was an amazing place at Pennhurst.
What's been interesting, I'm going to talk to you and Nick about this, is there have been times where you literally have, I guess possession is a strong word, but influenced, I guess, is a better word. And I mean, you can see it. Your personality changes. You get quiet. I mean, really strange stuff.
Well, when people, cross over, I can't communicate with my past, on relatives, but I think a lot of people go to the other side suddenly, or like I said, there's unfinished business, or they were very evil, and that energy has to keep going, and that pattern has to keep going when they're on the other side. They want to keep doing harm. And these energies can manipulate you. They're not like a table. They don't hit you and bump away. They go in you. And you feel the negativity of that person. You can feel the sadness of that person. And when you do, people don't understand it. They think possession is like The Exorcist, where your head spins around and you puke green stuff on your friend. It's not. There's a difference. It's not always a full possession. It's just feeling and energy. When you walk through a building, a haunted building, and you feel those hairs go up, you feel those goosebumps stand up. We know now that we are all sensitives. We can tell you when we feel that, we'll run our digital recorder and start getting EVPs immediately. It's proven. And we just did an investigation recently where we had a top-notch scientist that we decided to have come out, have him set up all of his equipment, every kind of spectrum camera, a sonar ping of electromagnetic energy. I mean, we're getting high-tech stuff here. And Nick and I felt one of these presences, and he could see this entity on his equipment. And it's really validated for us that the best tool a paranormal investigator can have is your own body. Is listen to your senses, then use your equipment. If you're getting hardcore data from the equipment after you sense this, you have a gift. And this stuff is really there. And we need to communicate with it. We are going to start doing things to really try and answer those skeptics' minds, because when you know something exists and some people don't, it gets to you a little bit. You just want to grab them and shake them, but we respect that, because I was also a skeptic once.
And Nick, there was one instance for you where you were, it was the same thing. It was just like the look on your face just totally changed. And, and you felt really unnerved, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Moon River Brewery Company, Savannah, Georgia. That was an intense investigation. They took us, all three of us, off guard, actually. We were just setting up, getting ready to prepare for the lockdown, for our investigation that night, and the sun didn't even set at that moment. But from the point that we got locked in there to the point where some sort of energy took over my body and I just lost all reality in that moment of time, it was a very scary moment. I've never experienced anything like that. I was always like, all right, possessions, whatever, you know, I've heard about them, but can they really happen? Can something like an energy that you can't see really take over your body and your mind and really just lose all self-control of yourself? And that's exactly what happened. I mean, it's happened to Zach, it's happened to myself, and after that, I mean, your mind opens up to new things that are unexplainable that we're trying to understand as we're investigating on our ventures that we're doing.
Aaron, I don't know how you do it, man, but you're always the guy who goes off somewhere alone, and the most memorable one for me was when that attic in the plantation in the South where the guy hung himself, and you're up there, and I'm going, I could never do that.
Yeah, that was the Riddle House. That was my very first investigation, going up by myself. And all I can remember is when that birdcage fell, I felt this energy. I jumped, it scared me, and I just had to go get the boys. They put me in some rough spots, man, a lot. It's like, I mean, at first I used to be thanks a lot, but now it's kind of a cool experience to go in there and feel what you're feeling and see what you see. And I mean, there's so many questions to be answered. So thanks, Nick and Zach, for putting me in there.
You're welcome.
Anytime.
We put him in places like this, though, not for entertainment. You know, Aaron exhibits a lot of energy. You just heard that interview. He laughed a lot of times. After everything he says, he's got a little laugh at the end of it. Aaron is an emotional ball of energy.
Big battery.
Yeah, and those emotions, you know, they create an energy, and we feel those spirits are attracted to that energy. They find any energy that they can find to manifest themselves. It is like the movie Ghost, when Patrick Swayze's trying to kick that can, and he's trying to find energy. It's like that, and that's why we throw this guy in sadistic showering rooms where, you know, guys have been murdered, and they prey upon that. It's like a little injured minnow in a shark pond. Aaron's our little minnow.
Just to share something that happened to me, I actually stayed at the Farnsworth House in Gettysburg this January.
We just went there.
Did you really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome episode coming up this September.
New season, yeah. We captured something. We see all the smiling now. We captured something on a thermal imaging camera. That's all I can say. That's our prized possession. It is so awesome. We can't wait to show it.
We got some good voices down there, too. I mean, it's just awesome.
Just to give you a thumbnail sketch what happened to me, one of the women that we went on this little ghost hunt with the hotel there was pregnant, and she was standing on the landing of the stairway there, and she started bursting into tears, an incredible sadness. And there was one person who was supposedly a midwife that lived there. Another thing was one room, the Eisenhower room, always smelled like fresh flowers, like fresh roses. And then our room, actually in the cellar, which is a very hot spot, I had like a little meter, and it was going nuts. And somebody took a picture of me, and there was an orb right on top of me.
Really?
So that place, and lastly, what happened to me was just in bed. We took a nap because we got up early and drove, and I just needed like an afternoon nap. And I'm lying down, and I'm feeling like pressure on my feet, going both directions, almost like a kid taunting me from falling asleep. It was really weird.
Yeah, we went there. Speaking of kids, we investigated it's called the Soldiers Museum, but a lot of people don't know. In the basement there's a dungeon where a sadistic woman named Rosa used to beat and torture children. And I think our highlight of our investigation there, we investigated 3 different locations. I mean, you got Gettysburg, 50,000 men lost their lives in a period of 2-3 days. One of the bloodiest battles, fighting our own people, fighting our own land. You know, in that itself is horrible, you know? And I think a lot of those men died so suddenly, and a lot of those men would have children at the orphanage, it's a proven fact, and you die so suddenly, their spirit walks up, they come back to the orphanage, but that place is truly amazing, and we can't wait to really air that episode, because we got a lot of stuff.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool. Talk about the equipment. Actually, I'm going to ask this for all of you, about some of the equipment you use. My favorite is that one device that actually registers a voice and talks. That's amazing, some of the stuff you use.
Yeah, a lot of the equipment that we use are prototypes. We work with a few different electrical engineers and scientists that are constantly building new stuff exclusively for us. And, with a field of the paranormal that is so unexplained, we are open to try any new piece of equipment at least once to see the results. We're having a lot of great results with something called the Spirit Box lately. And, I was skeptical of it because it scans through radio frequencies, but we really further analyzed it more and were able to find that it stays on one particular station for a quarter of a second. So if you were to make out any kind of phrase or even a word, it's really kind of So lately we've been communicating full sentences with the same voice, and we just recently did that on an investigation. So we like to use the equipment, we like to see our findings, and then we like to try and debunk to see if it can be contaminated by any logical explanation. And when it can't be, then that is in our key arsenal of equipment. And like I said, the new season on the Travel Channel, you'll see a lot of this new equipment and how close it's grown to us. It's like here at Comic-Con, it's like Thor's hammer. It never leaves our hands.
There you go.
And that's a great point. We actually captured amazing piece of evidence on what Zach was just saying on the Spirit Box, and we didn't know it at the time that these words were coming through and they were creating sentences. But when we further investigated and did our own research, we found out it was actually a person back in the heydays. He was let out of jail, walked down it was a PX, the PX that we used, the device, another piece of equipment. It's kind of similar in ways, but there's voices that use phone names, and they come through on the energy, and it manipulates the words, and it comes through on the speaker. And it's really interesting because when we did further research, we found out that this was an actual guy, and it was a fact that he came home from jail. He came to this place, he died down there, and all the words and the sentences that were being formed from this PX device that we started using blew our minds away.
It's all relevant.
See that coming up this September. It's going to be awesome.
It gets you so excited, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't want to have anybody. I just like Nick and Aaron and myself. There's been a lot of signs in my life. I was at a real dark stage in my life about 7-8 years ago, and a ghost experience happened, and I think since then my life has changed, and we all met for a reason, and it just gets you excited. You keep gaining evidence, and the more hardcore the evidence is, the more excited, but the more questions pop up.
Aaron, talk about one of my favorite pieces, because you always seem to pick something up on the X cameras.
Oh, the X cameras. Many hours and hours of watching X cameras. Those are awesome, man. We have something going on and we know an area that's really bad. We'll throw an X up there and let it record all night, and then hopefully capture something. A lot of, they're kind of like our armory. When we're on the battlefield fighting, you got to have your troops in the back waiting, watching it all. And that's what it does, man. And you get some awesome stuff on it.
I've seen some of those. I think one of my favorite was that one hallway you shot, and there was definitely something that walked through the hallway. You could see it. It was amazing.
Linda Vista, yeah. It's amazing, man. I don't know. The IR, it's a different spectrum of light you can't see. So you can see, like UV, IR, and your normal vision. You need like certain things or glasses or cameras to see it. So it's a great thing about Sony, man. They make an IR light that we can all watch.
A signature thing that your show does that some of the other shows definitely don't do is the taunting. Obviously, that's something that's different.
Yeah, and I really want to clarify when that word comes up, because I respect everybody in this world. However, if I know that somebody is beating or torturing children or abusing women or has killed people for no reason, I will sit in front of their face in their jail cell or whatever, and I will not be nice to them. Okay, they want to do harm to this world and they want to be evil. Well, I'm going to give it back to them. They cross over. I know that. They can do harm on the other side. I'm not going to go over there and say, hey, do you want a banana nut muffin? Do you want me to cook you some chicken soup? I'm going to fire that back because I know that's going to, give them hostility, and they're going to fight back. And when they fight back, what is that called, ladies and gentlemen? Evidence. And when you get that, that's called intelligence. People don't understand, we're doing this for a reason. And to get scratches on your back when you taunt, that's powerful. That's like a treasure hunter finding the Spanish medallion motherlode of gold coins in the bottom of the ocean. That's why we do this. but we don't walk around everywhere and taunt the entire spirit world. We always, if you watch, we hone in to individual spirits. Scott Jackson, Alonzo Walling. Why did you kill Pearl Bryan? She was pregnant. Why'd you chop her head off? Come and do it to me. Come and show me that harm. That's what we do.
With you guys, all of you, what's coming up this season? Obviously, the Farnsworth House is one, but any other cool places?
Yeah, I know. You'd have to wait till September. Travel Channel.
Best season ever.
Best season
ever.
It is by far. You know, it's weird. It keeps overtopping our other locations that we're going to. We're like, well, we can't get any better than this, the evidence. But you know what? That's what happens. We keep going. We keep doing our ghost adventures. And all the adventures that we're going on, we keep pulling up new pieces of evidence, and it's just amazing.
I mean, we've stepped into another level, I think, too, because the more we've been doing this, we've gone back to a couple places. I'm not going to tell you, but we went back somewhere, and we all came back a little feeling the wrath on that one.
Open.
Yeah, the door's been open for
From
sure.
Season 1, Season 2, it's open, bigger.
What was interesting was, speaking of going back, when you all went back to, I think, the first place you ever investigated in that town, I think that western town, that was interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that got personal.
Yeah.
Okay, when you have ghosts, when you have spirits of people that died over 100 years ago calling you by your first, and especially Nick over there, first and last name, they really don't like Nick. And I think, Nick captured our real first hardcore piece of evidence of full-bodied apparition at the Old Washoe Club. And I think they know that, and they didn't want to be captured. And I think they have a vendetta against Nick, and they always say his name, and we always give to each other about it, and I think it's funny.
Until it happens to you in the dark location.
Thank goodness they don't call my name.
When you have ghosts calling you by your first and last name, it gets very personal. It's like you're watching a horror movie, and the villain looks at you, while you're sitting on your couch and just says, "You, Zach Bagans, coming to get you." But this is real. This isn't fiction.
Yeah, we laugh at it now because we're sitting here in broad daylight and we're just chilling, in our off time. But you know what? It is a scary, scary situation when we're in that moment and we hear those voices coming through on our digital recorders that we're capturing right there. But we're also feeling the energy around us. There's some connection with that location, with the Washoe Club. It's just very weird. Every time we go back there, we feel it. They know we're coming. I actually just had someone email me personally and said, "Hey, we were just there investigating, and I just got your name again." All three of us. Actually, Aaron's name.
No, not mine.
Mark and Debbie Constantino just wrote me, and they said that they got all of our names on the recorders saying, again.
Is it the Washoe again?
Yeah, Washoe Club. They just investigated it.
They got yours now, Aaron.
I mean things like F. Aaron and yeah.
Okay.
So he's in the group now.
Now we're talking. Wait, real quick though. Just wait to see where we go back this season.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Just curious as hell about this. It's actually nothing to do with ghost investigations, but every time, occasionally, you'll take evidence to somebody to look at. And every time you go, Zach, my wife and I are pretty observant on the show. You're always wearing a different type hat. My favorite is actually the bowler, but anything behind that?
I went through a phase. I was the guy that couldn't find my hairstyle. I was like a little kid finding what
Wait, you found it?
Let me talk. He's asking me about my hair, all right? At least I have hair. So sometimes I would. Can I answer? Yeah. Why don't you spike your beard, man?
Yeah, it's right there.
I went through it and I found it now. It just stands up on its own now. But I went through a little hat phase, and I know, a couple of them hats are crazy looking, but I like hats. And some new episodes, we'll be wearing some old Union hats and stuff. So.
Oh, cool! That's something to look forward to. But I do like the bowler. I don't know, something about the bowler on you, man.
See, he likes the bowler.
I like the bowler. It's like, at first you're like, hey, why is he wearing the hat?
I can't, dude. Go back to the days like Bram Stoker's Dracula, man. That one scene where he's walking downtown. Remember how cool people used to, dress in the Victorian era and stuff? I mean, I wish people would wear that now. Gothic stuff, man. I love it. And I think a lot of people in America are judgmental, man. They wear what you feel is comfortable. We're all different and unique. Just like this guy I'm looking at now with his long beard and his straw hat. Man, wear what you like.
Right.
We're at Comic-Con, baby. You just look around, and this is truly a unique place. We fit right in.
Spider-Man, everybody's here.
Don't forget about Tron.
And
Have you guys had a chance to look at some of the panels?
I've been walking around all the time. This is big to me. I've wanted to come for like 5 years in this thing, and I finally get to come, and I'm like, I'm spending every moment I can in this place, geeking out all the way.
We haven't been to any panels yet. We've just been busy doing these autograph signings and stuff like that. But I always said that, Aaron, if you remember the old Superman movies, remember the 3 villains? They all dressed in black, like that black patent leather outfits. Well, remember the big burly guy with the beard, and he tried turning that snake into a stick or something? Well, Aaron, I always say, looks like that, and the guy's right over there signing autographs.
Jack O'Halloran.
Jack.
I tell you, I'm looking forward to the season. The show is great. I mean, there's a lot of investigative shows, and I don't know, I kind of gravitate towards yours because the thing about what you guys do that's different, a lot of them people will call them and say, hey, come here. But you guys research the hot spots, and you go to the hot spots, not just in the USA, too. That's what I like about it.
All over the world, yeah. No, we do a lot of investigation. Even before we made our documentary, we were investigating locations. Zach and I were investigating Poveglia Island for like 10 years. And we're like, if we ever get a chance, we want to go to that island in Venice someday, because that would be the ultimate place to go to investigate. But this is what we were doing. I mean, we're just so involved in the research. We love what we do. It's just amazing to go to these locations.
There's some paranormal, I won't say exact anything, but they audition people, to be the investigators and to, we didn't audition for a TV show. We're not actors. This is our passion, and this is what we love to do, and I think that shows. And not only that, but I think that also helps us obtain the evidence that we get, and when we get excited and we scream, this just screams of joy. Aaron, fear. Or fear, yeah. Startled.
No, it's different because we're raw. There's no BS. What you see is what you get. What our camera sees is what you get. And it's just the 3 of us. There's no big sound crews. We get locked in from dusk till dawn. Not locked in like Zach said for dramatical effects, but I almost said Zacula, Dracula.
Dracula? Were you about ready to call me Zacula?
Let's say if the door was open, we'd think maybe it's someone who got in, but now we know for a fact it's not someone who got in.
So there's no contamination.
There's no contamination, and our investigation is 100% what we're knowing and thinking that's going on.
Started. And we're at Comic-Con right now. I'm scanning this room and the big room, and you see all these superheroes that fight fictional villains. Hey, man, we fight non-fictional villains.
Right.
We
real supernatural.
I always say, man, we're the Van Helsings. It's like we go out and do this for real, man.
Yeah, we're sitting there airboxing there, trying to fight back, but it's like an energy you can't see taking over.
That's great. I would also say, just to have some fun here, you also lead the other ghost shows in beats and things being cut out too.
In things being what?
Beeps.
Oh yeah, beeps. Yeah, it just shows our realism, man. You see a demon manifest in front of your face, or you feel scratches go down your back. It's like, hey, Nick, you might want to come over here.
Hold on, let me put down my teacup and check it out.
Come on, man. Come on.
No, you're right. Actually, if it was me, I'd probably be doing Morse code. I'd be cursing so much. So.
And you can.
There's so many beats.
You can pick one location. And you can take different paranormal investigators, put them all in there over a month, and we'll come out with completely different evidence. Different evidence will be obtained by different groups of people. It's not the location. It's the people investigating. How passionate are they? Are they sensitive? People attract this stuff, and we're all different. And I think that shows.
Well, it's funny, but I watched some of the other shows, and not to put some of them down, because some of them are good. But I don't know, they don't have the energy that you guys have.
No, and that's the secret to this. And it is about energy. And when you are loud and you are energetic, people don't understand you're creating an emotional energy that spirits are attracted to. The more somber, yeah, you walk around like that, you know what I mean? It's like walking into a party being Debbie Downer. You're not going to attract a lot of fun. You're not going to attract a lot of people to come up and interact with you.
Fishing without a worm on the hook.
That's why we love them.
Yeah, as you can see, we're very passionate at what we do. We really go looking for that because we want to find it. We want to capture that evidence, and that's what we love to do.
Well, I really want to thank you guys. You guys have been awesome. I'll definitely continue watching, and it's been a great experience. For those people who don't, if you haven't looked at the Travel Channel website, there's a lot of cool stuff for you guys.
Our Travel Channel website is made to be interactive, to take the viewers at home and to have them be a part of us, be a part of our investigations. And to go there, we have encounters, videos that you can see behind the scenes, type stuff from our show. We analyze evidence further. We have a forum, slideshows, all kinds of stuff, even video, live video chats, and it's travelchannel.com/Ghost Adventures. We all have Twitters, twitter.com/Zach_Bagans, all that stuff.
I follow all you guys, actually.
A lot of people don't know, but you can go to YouTube and go to GAC and then Crew, or type in Aaron's vlogs and on YouTube, and you can see us behind the scenes hanging out in Italy or Moon River, just doing stuff around town. So it's a good way to if you're stuck in reruns right now, it's a good way to catch up on some new fun.
Yeah.
And I think we just killed Bigfoot.
Yeah, we just threw a new video up there. It's pretty funny.
We have fun in our downtime.
Well, actually, one of the things I did on my site was I embedded the video for when you went out to my neck of the woods near Long Island to the lighthouse.
Rocks the lighthouse, man.
Little Skeletor friend.
Yeah.
I got food poisoning there, man. That was horrible.
You can also learn how to campfire with Zach
and make s'mores. No, it's s'mores.
We call it s'mores.
It's not with a
You're
s'more.
baking and shaking with Zach Bagans.
It's s'more.
Baking and shaking.
Oh man, this is.
Bacon and shaking? I don't know, Aaron. That must be something you...
3 hamburgers that night, too. That was a great time. Awesome location.
Fishing.
Yep.
There you go.
Zach lost my fish for the night.
Oh, that's wild. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, and I'm just I'm not looking for sound bites. I usually air everything that I tape. So,
cool.
Yeah,
We like it raw.
We're gonna, I mean, I might have to beat some things, but not as many as you guys do on the show.
Yeah.
But I will air it as we've done it, and I'm sure a lot of your fans will. And then I use Twitter a lot to promote the podcast, so I will retweet it and grab you guys' attention. And then let you know that it's up.
And we'll retweet it to all our fans.
And then, and you guys have quite a list of fans.
Yeah.
I just want to say what's up to all the Ghost Adventures fans that are listening right now.
Thank you. GAC, Ghost Adventures Crew, Sci-Fi Talk, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you guys. What a pleasure. My wife is jealous of this. She's at the beach right now.
Jealous of that?
Special thanks to the Travel Channel and the Ghost Adventures team.
Hi, this is Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures, and you're listening to Sci-Fi Talk.